Hello.
Hey,
Hi. You can
how
hear
you
me
doing?
properly? Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
can
doing
hear you
great.
well.
Okay. Most probably you cannot see me. I don't have a webcam, and
Okay,
hopefully my
yeah.
English will not be too difficult for you to understand, like too unintelligible.
No, it's fine. I have a lot of friends from India and Pakistan, and I have one friend from Bangladesh. I
Oh,
think
that's
you said
lovely.
I think that's what you said. You're from Bangladesh, right?
Yeah. I'm from Bangladesh.
Yeah. So I'm very used to your accent.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's a
Yeah.
great relief.
And I'm guessing I don't know what your situation is, but you're in Bangladesh right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm
So,
I'm
so we shouldn't
living.
be showing your face anyway.
It'd be better, right? Well, like I'll be in a
And
risk
also
of
we
facing
yeah,
social repercussion, familial
yeah.
repercussion, and like,
Or
yeah,
legal
it's kind of
repercussions
risky
too,
here.
right?
Yeah, legal
Yeah.
repercussion.
So I'm guessing your name shouldn't be here either. Your
Uh,
name,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, but definitely I'm using a pseudonym, so it's
Oh,
like,
you mean R Rahman is not a real name?
I mean, it's a name of a very famous Indian musician. Like,
Oh, okay. So this name is fine. It's
yeah,
not your real name. So it's okay
no,
if I use it.
yeah.
Um, and then like if we decide, and I'm not going to do this without your approval, of course, but if we decide to publish this on the internet, you're okay with me using this name, A.R. Rahman?
Well, I went and became a subscriber of your channel, but then I was taken aback a little because I saw you called yourself the Arab Jesus.
Well, I didn't actually call myself that. A friend of mine did.
Oh,
And he
okay.
died and passed away. And I thought to
Yeah, to honor
sort of
his memory.
honor him.
Yeah.
I have
That's a great
I have
gesture.
another friend that called me Moses a couple times because of some stuff I helped him with.
Okay,
Um,
in Islam, like Moses is very important figure. In
yeah,
Quran, Moses was like mentioned. Moses is mentioned
yeah,
70 or more than 70 times.
sure.
So and like even in popular culture, Moses is depicted as the rebel, like he uh, revolted against the Pharaoh in Egypt,
Yeah,
and like let my people go. That's
yeah.
a very it gives me goosebumps sometimes, the phrase, like,
Oh, so by the way, the other part is when my friend called me out of Jesus, or if anyone calls me that, or even if
yeah.
I call myself that, a lot of people think that that means God. But from what I understand, Jesus did not think he was God, and everyone else was wrong in thinking that he was. He was just a good dude.
yeah
That's
yeah
all.
yeah
So,
yeah
so by calling myself out of Jesus, it lets people talk about that because they think that I'm saying I'm God, but then it lets me get to say, no, all the Christians are wrong about Jesus. You know what I
uh
mean?
yeah,
So
I
yeah,
get your
I
point.
use these kind of words to get people talking. I
Hmm.
know a little bit of marketing. I have a business background. So
Yeah.
I use words for marketing purposes. That's why I called my group the Uniting the Cults.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have used plain language like uniting the tribes.
Well, I have a point about that as well, but first let me clarify this. Like, the first question that came to my mind when I saw the name was, you might find it very rude. I'm from a different culture, you know. Are you
Yeah.
Christian?
Oh, I'm not. I'm atheist.
Okay, yeah, that was my first like I was taken aback. Maybe you are Christian because I consider myself a very strong anti-theist. Like
Okay.
Christopher Hitchens is my idol.
Okay.
Like
Yes, I know him.
I know he is very controversial and he's like he has vitriol in
I
his.
like I like him.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and that's why currently I'm a fan of Matt Dillahunty because he also has that vitriol. I mean, no bullshit attitude,
Yeah, well, I
which I
think that's
like.
how I am. I'm not
that's
claiming
great.
to be as well spoken as Christopher Hitchens, but I'm in the same style. I don't mind using words that cut through. So let's talk about what we're gonna do here.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the history
I
real
have
quick. You found
one.
me, or you contacted me through the website, but where did you see me first?
I saw you like, I mean, I first posted why I left Islam in the atheism subreddit. And there someone commented that there is a subreddit called ex-Muslims. So I joined there.
Okay.
And out of a few Redditors like who attracted my attention, I mean, I found you very knowledge. I mean, you had a lot of knowledge that I thought I had too. And
Okay.
my problem was, I think the usual demographic of Reddit is quite low, right? Young people tend to use Reddit. We are
Over the other social media, I was thinking it's more older people.
Oh, okay. So
Because
I
Reddit
have,
is, well, for one thing, Reddit is very old. It's older than all the other ones.
yeah, that's true.
And the people that got in 20 years ago are old now.
Yeah,
We're still
yeah,
on there. And actually, I'm kind of new to Reddit, but the point is, the people have been there since forever. And this was in an era when the technology wasn't good enough yet. Everything was still text and large form text.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Reddit is all long posts, older people. Yeah, I'm sure there's young people. But it's not like TikTok where it's only young people.
yeah, yeah. I stand corrected. Thank you.
Yeah, and then where, like, let's say Facebook is well, first of all, your everyone's name is on there, so no one acts in a way. It's very different than Reddit. Reddit is all almost
Yeah,
everyone is anonymous.
anonymous. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, and I
yeah.
think people use that in bad ways. That and like if their name was out there, they wouldn't talk that way. Anyway, that's off
I
topic.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
Um,
But the thing is,
so
I took you for a
you go ahead.
20-year-old. Like I thought you were about 26. I mean, below 30. And so I was mesmerized by your knowledge and like patience
But now you're
and
not so mesmerized now that you find out I'm an old man, huh?
well, I'm 44. So
Oh, okay. I'm kidding. I was just making a joke.
no, but like now at least it's not that shocking.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Now it makes more sense to you. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, 20 years ago, well, I was still a Muslim 20 years ago, but if we go
well,
back to let's say my first year of being an atheist,
yeah,
yeah, I didn't know very much. If you look at some of my writing from what 14 years ago, it's horrible compared to now. But anyway, I have a long journey, and now it's I've been wanting to be public and speak out, but I haven't much because my experience has been people don't really listen to me because what I say is too complicated. But I've gotten a lot better at making it less complicated.
well, I mean,
While
practice will do that to you, right?
yeah, practice and listening to a bunch of other people who are much smarter than me, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So you asked, um, oh, so by the way, do you we are recording, by the way, but I wasn't planning on keeping anything that we have so far. Do you want to start sort of recording officially, like we're doing an episode of something like that I might put up on the internet? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, we
It is.
should, but I mean, like at the same time, wouldn't it be better if we select the topic now, which we'll have a discussion on in our next session? So I can like
Well, I think
do
the
some
topic
study.
was already selected when you approached me with a question. You said, "How can I be of service?"
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Can we
then
call
my
that the
first
topic?
question. No. Then first, my first question to you would be, what is uniting the cults?
Okay, but the point is, how can I be of service is the topic.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
When-
so let me just start a document and then put it on the screen.
Yeah.
And I guess you asked this question. You must have heard a little bit of stuff about uniting the cults that got you interested, but you're wanting to hear more. What is uniting the cults? I already have a lot of writing about this. Maybe I rewrite it, but nonprofit organization whose purpose is to be an agent of cultural change with a vision of a world without apostasy laws, and more generally, to work on the rest of human rights.
Yeah.
We won't like what once the apostasy laws are gone, we're not gonna close the group. There's more work to do, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. There's also a YouTube channel called Uniting the Cults. I intend to use it. I mean, it's to be the agent of change. Like, this is how I intend to change the cultures through this YouTube channel. And not only that, I write articles, but people don't listen to writing in this era. That's been part of my problem too. I write a lot, but people don't really look at writing. They look more at videos in today's age. So, and I haven't really gotten into videos yet. I don't know the technology very well. There's a lot of little stuff to learn. So I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting till later. And now I'm doing the videos and it's getting easier. And anyway, so now there's a little thing I want to say here is until the laws are gone, let's help ex-Muslims escape their abusive situations with know-how and money. I heard that a lot of ex-Muslims that end up leaving their families, they're homeless for a short period.
Well,
until they're not homeless anymore, and that shouldn't be. And there's a lot of ex-Muslims in the world that have enough money to support these people who are trying to escape, but there's not enough happening to make the connection, as far as I know. And I won't be the only organization doing this. I know there's at least one other organization that already does this.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
I was trying to say something about your homelessness point. But it's like
Sure.
The issue of homelessness is entirely different, in my opinion, in Bangladesh, or at least in South Asia. I mean, I can confirm about Bangladesh. I don't know that much about India or Pakistan. The thing is, like buying a home, if you are in the capital, then it's one kind of issue. You usually rent a place. But if you are not in the capital, there are not enough housing that you can just go out and get a lodging once you are detached or once you are expelled from your family. So
yeah, and from what I understand, that's the problem in. I mean, like, so my parents are from Syria. I understand it's the same thing there.
Okay.
A person's income, a normal person's income,
Yeah,
you would need 150 years of that in order to buy a house.
yeah.
I understand the problem there. Basically, people stay with their families.
Another issue that confounds the problem is, I don't know if it's true. I mean, they are true in Syria. Like there is a certain category of job that's called odd jobs, like bartending or serving as a waiter in a restaurant, those
Yeah.
type of jobs. So usually in our society, it's not viewed in a positive way. Like, say, for example, if my father was a service holder in Dhaka, then I cannot just go outside on the street and sell, set up a lemonade shop and sell lemonade. That would be viewed as like you are disrespecting your family, you are
Oh my
disrespecting your.
God. Yeah, I remember all that too. People refusing to do low-class jobs, but by refusing to do those low-class jobs, you prevent yourself from moving up to do anything better.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the entrepreneurial culture is like, yeah, there is one kind of entrepreneurial culture. If you can convince a bank to give you some loan and then start big as something startup like in IT sector or those, then okay. But for that, you need to have a certain set of skills. Unskilled or semi-skilled labor, for unskilled or semi-skilled labor going out and doing something and earning their sustenance, if they are from the middle class, it is almost impossible. Like, if there are cases where the son or the daughter has done something like that, and the father or mother had committed suicide out of shame, embarrassment. So
Yeah.
definitely I'm giving you the worst case scenario. It's not general, but you can get the picture.
Yeah, and to be clear, I do need to hear those pictures because I was born and raised in the US. There's so little I know about everywhere else. I know a little bit about Assyria only because I've been there a few times and my parents are there, but I don't know shit about anywhere else. And the Muslim world is huge.
Yeah.
So many different cultures, different countries, different problems that the people are there are having. There's a lot of shared stuff, obviously. So
Yeah.
I need people like you to help me understand more of what's happening in the rest of the world.
Okay, I can definitely try. But the thing is, I'm more or less fortunate because I have a very liberal family, and my family are
Yeah.
adherents of Sufism. So Sufi Islam tends to be softer. The
Sufi,
concept
is
of.
that the one that's cares about spirituality?
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
yes.
it cares about spirituality so much that heaven and hell both were for supper Muslims. For the best Muslims, the only true reward is the unification with Allah.
Hmm. Okay, so I guess we've already answered this a tiny bit. How can you be of service? Well, you can educate me on stuff I don't know related to the cultures I'm not from. That's a very tiny thing, obviously. Um, it's a very tiny thing. But more generally, educate me on anything I don't know. Like if you see me make an argument related to Islam and it's wrong, I would like you to tell me. I want to fix it. So that's another way you can be of service. This is very basic things. But um, by the way, are you satisfied with this answer to this question?
Yeah, I'm satisfied, but I have a question like, why then you call those you want to unite cults? Because cult has a negative connotation.
So why
Isn't
the
it?
name Uniting the Cults?
The cult. You could have used some positive words for cult.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You
yeah. So first, it's a marketing decision.
okay?
I know a lot of people are not going to like it. That
Hmm.
might get them to attract them to us. And I think there will be a group of people that don't like it and then it'll push them away, but I consider them dumb and I don't want them anyway.
So am I right in assuming that those who would be joining us will be willing to accept or recognize that they are part of a cult?
Well, here's the thing. If you understand my message, you will realize that I'm saying every group is a cult or acting like a cult in some ways, even
I agree.
physicists.
Yeah.
You see me say it about physicists?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think a competent Muslim, when he sees me calling Islam a cult, but he also sees me saying physicists is a cult, the US government is a cult, how do you think he's going to see that?
In my experience, a lot of them will stop at when they see Islam is a cult. They would not wait for
Okay. Which people are those? The people that refuse to listen to anything anyway?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't care about those people. They have to get their minds open first, and then they can listen to us. Like, it has to start with them, not us.
And definitely that this topic, the US government, like if you claim that US government is a cult, and then if we can convince our audience that yes, it is a cult for these reasons, but that would be hugely popular because the anti-US sentiment is quite high in the world.
Yeah, and you know, let me say something about that. When people criticize Islam for having the apostasy laws, the very typical reaction from Muslims is, well, you guys have treason laws. And there is some truth to what they're saying. And it's this part right here. Right now, the US government wants to try whistleblowers as traitors. Like Edward Snowden. But Edward Snowden was a whistleblower, meaning he's not against the country. He's for the country. He's helping the country. He's helping the US citizens by showing them how our own government is fucking us. So he's a whistleblower, not a traitor. A traitor would be somebody that hates his country and wants his country destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Constitution is very specific and clear about it. Someone who tries and works towards the destruction or defeat of the US government, something like that. Like it has to be declaration of war or supporting the enemy during war. It has to be something that serious.
And I want to be clear, I don't know the laws very well regarding whistleblowers and traitors. But whatever it is, it's currently not working, and it needs to be improved. And the only reason I say that is very clear whistleblowers need to be treated as whistleblowers, not traitors, and vice versa. It's that simple. All I'm saying. And yeah, we need lawyers to come in and explain what's wrong with the law or whatever. But the point is, this is on the side of having a goddamn apostasy law.
Exactly. Like, I mean,
same logic as apostasy laws or similar logic.
Yeah. Then also, I just remembered you have those stupid ones who was sharing secret info on some game Discord channel to prove his manliness or something. You remember the news, right?
No.
Some 20-odd-year-old guy working for Security Intelligence USA.
Oh, yes, I have heard that. I think I did hear about this.
He was leaking secret information on his game Discord channel just to prove his, like he is a part of US defense industry or something like that.
And he was more having fun than anything. Yeah.
Those are different issues. Edward Snowden, or what was her name? I mean, who transitioned from male to female? The one Obama pardoned.
I don't know.
Manning, something. Bradley Manning.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a whistleblower too. And he was like incarcerated most probably. Then during incarceration, he transitioned from male to female. and then Obama most probably pardoned him in 2015 or something around that time. So yes, I agree, like apostasy law. And then I think the US foreign policy can at times be like, if you consider the alignment with US foreign policy, the benchmark, then if you are not following that benchmark, or then you are at the risk of sabotage, espionage, and all kind of subversion. Like your national government will not be stable if you are not aligned with US interests.
So we might as well go ahead and say, we haven't said it yet, the reason that this government law is bad, or the way the US government is treating whistleblowers is bad. The reason that's bad, and the reason apostasy laws are bad, and more generally, the reason cult behaviors are bad, they're doing one thing. They're trying to hide the truth. And they're doing that in order to they're putting up these punishments in order to discourage disobedience.
Or encourage conformity, obedience.
Same thing. Yeah. But the way they're doing it is by tricking with hiding the truth. Discourage disobedience by tricking people by hiding the truth. So the extreme versions of this are
punishing those who expose the truth.
Excommunication. So just to give an example, that's not Islam. There's a religion / cult called Scientology, very famous in America. It's very new. It's very new compared to
Ron Hubbard.
Yes. And what they do, what it says is, if you leave the cult, whatever family you have that's in the cult, and anyone that's in the cult is not allowed to talk to you anymore.
Not only that, I've heard that during their audit process, they gather personal information, and they often threaten those who want to live with blackmail.
We can say a million things that's worse that they do. Yes. I wanted to give one that was like very general and used across multiple cults. Excommunication. What they're trying to do is get people to stop talking. Trying to get people to stop talking to each other, because that hides the truth.
Yeah, and help them maintain their status quo.
Yes. Yeah. So now, is that satisfactory for why I used the word cults in Uniting the Cults?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always in for trying out startling things, like in rhetoric and prosody. You're supposed to start your speech startlingly, so you get the audience attention.
The marketing decision. Yeah, for sure. When by the way, I didn't come up with this name. A friend of mine did, and when he came up with the name, my brain exploded. And I remember, and I'm not even a hugging person. I remember hugging him. It's like, I can't believe you made that name. It's amazing name. Yeah, amazing name. Anyway, people watching this won't understand the excitement I'm having, I guess, because they didn't experience it, but it's very exciting for me.
I think I was a bit unprepared because I kind of forgot that we were supposed to talk on this. Then definitely I'd have had more preparation. But
I don't think you needed to prepare for anything. This was enough preparation right here. You came here saying you want to be of service. That's enough. And I could have tried to. Well, I mean, I did do this a little bit. When you asked me how you can be of service, I told you what you can do. And then I wanted to add that if that's not enough, let's do a call. And I really don't think it's enough. I think everyone who really wants to help should do a call like this. So I'm saying this to everyone. If you want to help, contact me so we can do a call like this. It's better than if you're just reading some stuff I wrote. because you get to have
agree.
your questions answered so easily in a call like this. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll be happy to do it with you on a regular basis, because I agree. I mean, it's the least we can do, and definitely we must do more.
Yeah, and I switched recently. I don't remember how I switched, but it was many little discussions on the ex-Muslim subreddit where I kept reading people. You could sense the fear through the text of where they're living, and they can't speak out, and it's hard for me to even understand what that is, because I don't live in that. I live in a place where I have no fear of exposing my face or my name or anything.
Yeah, I mean, to
And
me, when
it
Americans
slowly
talk
switched.
about, well, honestly, when Americans talk about their lack of freedom, like I don't know whether to laugh or cry, because
Yeah.
unless they have come down to a place where there is no freedom of expression. Like if I take an example from Hitchens, then like he says he went to Czechoslovakia, I mean, swearing that he would not use the name of Kafka. But then like the secret police came during a meeting and then arrested him. He asked, why am I being arrested? And the secret police told him, we don't have to tell you.
Oh.
So he had to take the name of Kafka. And he says that it's like they're determined and they're trying to make you take the name of Kafka. So it's a bit like that.
Yeah, it's sad. And yeah, that's why I decided that I need to be doing things. I don't think it's morally right for people in the West or in any safe location who, if you're doing well financially and your life is okay in so many ways, I think it's unfair to just sit there and say, okay, well, my life is great, I'm just going to worry about myself. I feel like it's my responsibility to go help everybody else escape. And I want to be clear, I did escape from something. I mean, I am in America and I have a very liberal family, even though it was Muslim. But I married someone who's a Muslim, and she wasn't like that. And
Okay.
I had to escape her tyranny. And the problem is we had 2 kids. I had to help 3 people escape her tyranny. And
I mean,
we escaped. My kids are fine now. They're teenagers. But it took
right.
it took their whole lives. They're 17 and 15 now.
Okay, and they might have some childhood trauma as well, which might like
I would remove the word might. Yeah.
That's sad.
There was a period. There was a 2-year period where their mother was beating them, and then one of my children exposed it to me, and then I asked her, why didn't you tell me for 2 years? And she said, because Mama said that we would go to hell if we told you. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they were physically abused and emotionally blackmailed too.
And in ways that's more than just what Islam says. Islam has the concept of hell, but it doesn't say you go to hell if you told your dad that your mom's beating you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst form. I mean, I don't know if I should talk about it or should I remain silent, because that is.
Yeah, we should probably get back on topic. instead of
Hey,
continue.
we need to do one thing. Unfortunately, you see, it's 6 p.m. here. So in 10-15 minutes, we'll be having our iftar here.
Okay. Which means what
And
for you?
which means it will be a family gathering and everyone will be there. So yeah, they know I'm not fasting, but I still would have to join the gathering and like take part in the
Yeah.
feasting or
Okay.
eating,
Yeah, no
whatever.
problem. So what is so now that you've gotten these answers, which really don't address this at all, but they're good things to have clarified. Do you have any other questions before we get into how you can be of service?
Not right now. Not right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Though
So
I'd like to know about how we might go about proving the physicists being a cult, but I guess that's a discussion for another day or video.
yeah, the live stream event that I'm doing,
On June 14th, right?
yeah, it's a continuation of Feynman's speech from 1974, the Caltech commencement speech. In that speech, he dedicated the entire speech to one thing. And what he was explaining was the cult behaviors that people do. He didn't use that word cult behavior, but his speech is now called Cargo Cult Science. He was showing how scientists do pseudoscience, including physicists. So as an example, on some of the equipment that physicists need to use is very expensive, like the particle colliders. And there are cases where a researcher wants to do an experiment. He wants to use that machine. He presents his experimental design to whoever administrators, whoever gets to choose the time allotments on that particle collider. And what will happen is the boss says, okay, so something in science, some basic thing in science is when you do an experiment, the obvious thing you're doing is you have two trials. You're trying to have only one variable that's different between the two trials, and you're trying to see what happens differently, so that you could try to figure out what happens with that one variable, well, how it acts, with everything else being equal. And a lot of times when you're doing this, your first, your two trials, your baseline trial and your different variable trial, the baseline trial is oftentimes work that somebody else did before you.
Okay.
Now, when you do that, when you're building on work for someone before you, you cannot use their trial as your data. You have to redo their trial in your apparatus. You better get the same result. And then you do your second trial with that different variable. And that's the proper way. Does that make sense why you have to redo the trial from the last experiment?
Yeah, that will help me calibrate my machine. And
exactly. Your machine apparatus could be different than the other one.
Yeah.
And you're trying to remove any potential error there. You redo the experiment from the other one. Now, what happens is this physics guy says, hey, our machine is expensive. This trial has already been done. Just use the data from the other trial, and then you do your trial, and we'll be done.
Well, if the machine is same, then isn't it okay?
You mean if the apparatus is the same?
Yeah, sorry. If the apparatus remains same, then...
Well, in that case, it would be, but I guess in this scenario, the apparatus is not the same. What I'm describing is something Richard Feynman said during his speech.
Oh, no, then it's not proper.
Yeah. Well, more generally, let me backtrack a little bit. The reason why these physicists want to do this is very simple. They are judged by how many publications they put out. And it's very common in physics departments for professors to be judged by how many publications they make, not for the validity of the research in any of the publications.
No, just for the number. Yeah.
Which is anti-scientific, because what it's doing is sacrificing the integrity of the research for something that has nothing to do with the scientific integrity of the research.
And creating websites like researchgate.net where anyone can like do anything. Yeah, I agree. And then now you have, at least here you need minimum number of papers published to become a professor from a lecturer.
Yeah.
So
the incentives are wrong, and for the people that follow these incentives instead of their own incentives, like I have my own incentive to be truthful, but the organization is providing a contradictory incentive. And so it has a disincentive to my incentive of being truthful. And if people cave to the organization's incentive, you're losing the value of your research. And then here's what's worse. Later scientists who build their work on your work, if your work was junk, it's ruining their work. So to do a real example, Bret Weinstein was a biologist, a professor. He recognized a major flaw in a lot of the biology research done on telomeres. And what he discovered was, hey, all of this research, like hundreds of studies across decades, have all been getting their mice from one source, one company that makes these mice. And what he realized was, if you're doing that, then the way that company is making the mice, it's actually changing the structure of the telomeres. So if you're doing research about telomeres and you're using mice whose telomeres are fucked up because of the way you're getting the mice, you're ruining all that research. He provided this criticism to the biology departments, and guess what they did? They silenced his criticism, and they don't want to hear it. But his criticism, if it's valid, sheds huge doubt on hundreds of biology studies that involve telomere research. That's called behavior. They're trying to hide the truth. And the reason they're trying to hide it is because if it really is exposed, their published papers become void, and their incentive, they want more published papers. They lose published. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that's physicists and biologists. And I could give you a story about psychologists. All of this is from, well, actually, I'll take that back. The Bret Weinstein thing is new. It wasn't in the Feynman speech 50 years ago. But the Feynman speech, he gives an example in the world of psychology that involves rat experiments. I could explain that one too if you like. But it sounds like we're about to be done. We should probably stop now.
Yeah.
Instead of starting a new topic.
We should. Yeah. So then, like, can we talk more about the Feynman lecture in our next session? Because I want to rewatch the lecture first. Then I can ask you a few more questions, and we can talk about more details.
Yeah. So I just wrote this down here to remind us.
Yeah. Okay. And can you please write down the name of the place he gave the lecture to?
Caltech.
Caltech, right. Big Bang Theory.
Well, is that Caltech? Big Bang Theory?
Isn't it?
I don't know. I know the show, but I've never thought about where it is, what university. So here's what is this? Yeah, here's a link to my blog post, it has the original speech transcribed, and there's also a link to the YouTube video of somebody who speaks it, and it has images that are worth looking at. So you could go to my blog and find this one right here and click on the YouTube or.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. And
no, you don't have to do it. I was just telling you if you wanted to, because you.
No, I already know about that picture. Like during the Second World War, some Air Force base were established in the islands, and then the native populace were like worshipping.
Yeah. How did you ever hear about that?
I'm a fan of Feynman. I mean, I must have watched that commencement speech as well. I remember watching a lecture. He was talking in front of a blackboard in a class or something like that. I don't know. I don't think that was a commencement speech. But let me rewatch Feynman's, and then I'll talk to you more in details.
Okay, so we'll
close it.
We'll keep talking over Reddit to schedule the next appointment, and maybe we do something like a regularly scheduled kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least once a week. I mean, we can do, and if you can give time, then we can do twice a week as well.
Yeah, it depends, and it also depends on who else is in the mix. More and more people are coming to me, and so I might I don't know what's going to be happening. You're like,
if we can make it a group discussion.
Already the last person I had to tell them, now I have you talking to, so I have to talk to him less now. So
but can't we do it like three-way conversation or so?
Yeah. I mean, if we're all talking about the same topics, sure. But like the last talk I just did was with a guy who the way he came to me was, he said, "Can you give me your compiled writings on religion, cults, science, and human nature?" So we talked about that for 2.5 hours, and that's very different than what you asked me, so.
Yeah. But science and human nature is a topic that interests me a lot as well. So,
well, I'll be publishing that soon, maybe even today, and I'll send you the link.
Okay, sure, that would be great. So let's schedule another session and then meet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll see you later.
Okay, take it easy, and thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
All right.
So
bye-bye. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Yeah, take care. Bye.